Hi, this is Mr. Urrego, and I'm going to show you how to solve a quadratic equation using the quadratic formula. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to know which one is the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is the following: x. Remember, we're looking for the values of x. That's whenever we use the word solve, means we're looking for the values of x, or the values of whatever variable you're using. So x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c over 2 times a. 2 times a again. Okay, this is for every polynomial of the form 8x squared, and that a is horrible, I'm sorry, 8x squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. My polynomial has to be equal to 0. It has to be equal to 0. If it's not equal to 0, then I need to make it equal to 0. Okay? So let's start with an example. So in this case, let's do number 83. Okay, let's do 83. 4x squared plus x equals 3. 4x squared plus x equals 3. Plus x equals 3. I just said that my polynomial has to be equal to 0. In my case, it's not equal to 0. So I have to make it equal to 0. How can I make it equal to 0? I need to cancel that 3. Cancel it is a positive 3, so I subtract 3. Because I'm doing an equation, then I have to subtract 3 on the right and then subtract 3 on the left. Okay? So that's going to give me 4x squared plus x minus 3 equals 3 minus 3 is going to be 0. So I'll have my 0 that I'm looking for. Okay? So this is going to be 8x squared plus bx plus c, meaning my a is the value that is next to the x squared, so it's a 4. B is the value that is next to the x, because there's no number here, you have a 1. This c is your constant, or the number that doesn't have a variable next to it, the constant, which in my case is negative 3. So I have a, b, and c. Now it's time to plug those values into my quadratic formula. Okay? So what I'm going to do is negative b plus or minus b squared. Okay, so let's try it out. Well, I wrote too big. Okay. Negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac. So let's do that again. X equals, let me write it on the side really small. Negative b plus or minus b squared. No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Alright. So it's negative b. In my case, b is 1. So I have negative 1 plus or minus b squared. B squared. So I have 1 squared minus 4 times a times c. All that divided by 2 times a, which is 4. I just replace those values into the formula. Now it's time to do math. So x equals negative 1 plus or minus 1 squared, 1. Now I have negative 4 times negative 3. Negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. Negative 16 times negative 3 is going to be positive 48. And this is the product of these 3. Okay? Negative 4 times negative 3 is going to be positive 48. All that over 2 times 4, which is 8. Let's do one more step. So I have x equals -1 plus or minus. Inside the radical, 1 plus 48 gives you 49 over 8. Let's keep to the right because we have space. -1 plus or minus square root of 49 is equal to 7. All that divided by 8. Now remember, I have a plus and a minus. That means I'm going to have two answers. Okay? So I'm going to break that in two answers if you want. Alright? One of the answers is going to be with a plus, and the other answer will be with a minus. So, I'm going to have -1 plus 7 over 8. The other answer will be x equals -1 minus 7 over 8. Now, can I reduce those numbers? Yes, I can. So I'm going to have -1 on the left. I'm going to start working here on the left. Let's finish this side first. -1 plus 7 is 6 over 8. Reduce 3 over 4, and that's my first value of x, 3 over 4. The second value of x is -1 minus 7, which is -8 over 8, which is going to give me -1. So those are the two values for x using the quadratic formula. Let's do one more example. Let's do 85. Let's do 85. So I'm going to have x squared plus 3x minus 8 equals 0. Okay? The formula, x equals -b plus or minus b squared minus 4 times c, all that over 2a. Get used to write the formula always, so you memorize it. Okay? Now, a is whatever is in front of the x squared, which in this case is 1. B is whatever is in front of the x, which in this case is 3. C is my constant, so C is -8. Now we just need to plug it in. Okay? So x equals -b. -b. b is 3, so I have -3. Plus or minus square root of b squared, so I'm going to have 3 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is -8. All that divided by 2 times 1. X equals -3 plus or minus. Inside the radical, remember you have to follow PEMDAS. Okay, so the first thing is parentheses, which in this case is there's no parentheses. Then we have exponents, which is 9, 3 squared. Okay, minus 4 times 1 times -8. So -4 times 1 times -8 is going to give me positive 32. -4 times 1, -4 times -8, negative, positive 32. All that over 2. X equals -3 plus or minus inside the radical 9 plus 31, 41 over 2. Can I reduce the 41? Can I take something out of that radical? I believe the 41 is a prime number, so nothing that I can do, nothing that I can take out. So I'm going to break that into two answers. Remember, two answers. My first answer is with the plus, with the positive sign. So it's going to be -3 square root plus or square root 41 divided by 2. The second answer is going to be -3. Instead of the plus, I'm going to use the minus square root 41. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Over 2. If there's anything that I can reduce, I reduce. If there's nothing that I can do with this, I leave my answers like that. And those are your true answers for the quadratic equation. I hope you understand. Review, please. Have a beautiful day.